Everybody, Kevin Purcell for GottaBeMobile.com and Notebooks.com. Today I've got the Dell Chromebook 11 in for review, and I wanted to show it to you. This is a typical Chromebook in that it comes with the 11-inch screen and an Intel Celeron 2955U processor. That's pretty standard on most of these Chromebooks, with the exception of just a couple. Samsung and HP, their 11-inch Chromebook doesn't have it, but almost all the other ones do. It only comes with 2 gigabytes of memory, but you can optionally get 4 gigabytes, which I would recommend, although this one ran very nicely with just 2. And then, of course, it comes with Intel video and a 1366 by 768 screen. It comes with a 16 gigabyte SSD hard drive, and the battery life on this thing is rated to last up to about 10 hours, and we can concur that that is exactly that's a pretty accurate description of it. It's a very nice Chromebook. The keyboard is a beautiful keyboard. As I'll pull it a little bit closer to you, I found that typing on it was comfortable and accurate. I didn't have any difficulties compared to other keyboards. Because it's an 11-inch, it is going to feel a little bit cramped for people with large hands like myself. Now, as you can see here, the trackpad on it, for a Chromebook of this size, it's actually fairly spacious and accurate. It's responsive, sometimes maybe a little too responsive, but that's not necessarily always a bad thing. And we really like it. I think one of the biggest weaknesses of this Chromebook is definitely the screen. First of all, it's incredibly reflective, as you can tell in the video here. And then second of all, it's fairly dim. I'm going to go ahead and turn up the brightness all the way, and it's hard to see this on camera, but even though it is fairly bright, in a very bright environment, it's difficult to see things accurately. Let me pull up a web page, and you'll notice that things look just a little bit washed out. I don't have the internet connected right now, but things look a little bit washed out. That's kind of typical for Chromebooks, sadly. I wish that they would do a better job, put better screens on these things, but then that's going to add cost. I'm going to close it here and show you around the sides of it. Of course, there's the power connector on it. It has an HDMI out port for connecting to an external display or a projector, TV set, 2 USB ports, and here's the standard headphone jack. On the back, we don't see anything. It's just got one long hinge that runs nearly the whole length of the back of the notebook. And then on this side, we've got the Kensington lock and, of course, an SD card slot. That'll read up to a 64 gigabyte SD card, so you can add some memory that way to store things like movies and videos and pictures, music, that sort of thing. Now notice the design of it. It's fairly thick in the back, and it's actually fairly thick throughout, but it has this tapered edge to give it kind of a faux thinness. We're going to compare this in just a second to the Acer 720, and it's also somewhat hefty compared to others, but yet it feels very sturdy. This is not like a lot of Chromebooks that feel junky and cheap. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart under heavy usage. This feels like a machine that you could carry around and use all day, every day, for a good long time, and it probably would not break unless you damaged it yourself. Notice it's got a very thin display. One of the things I don't like about it is, notice the very thick bezel. They've got a lot of room here that they could have given to screen size. In the same size of notebook, we could have gotten a 12-inch screen, or they could have maybe shrunk it a little bit, but then again, that would damage the comfort of the keyboard. I have the Acer 720 here, and I want to show it to you in comparison. These two computers, you know, they look almost exactly alike. As you look at it, the Acer has a slightly lighter color to it. It's also just a tiny bit smaller. As you can see, there's just a little bit along the edge here. As I make it flush on that side, there's the Dell goes a little bit wider. That makes the typing on it a little bit more comfortable. It also makes it slightly heavier, and as you can see, it looks like they're fairly similar in thickness, but remember the feet on the Acer makes it look a little thicker than it really is. All in all, if I'm having to pick between these two, understand this: the Dell Chromebook, it costs more than $100 more than this Acer. They're spec'd almost the exact same. There's very, very little difference between the two. Yet this one comes in at $300. I think it's $329 is the retail. But I know that right now you can't really get it at Dell because they're selling it mainly to the educational market. Third parties have bought a number of them and are selling them at $309. You can find them. That's one price that I've seen on Amazon. The Acer Chromebook, however, is $200 out the door. That's the retail price. That's the most expensive you're going to pay for it. And I've actually seen deals with it down to $159. In fact, I bought this one on a deal for $159 almost 6 months ago. And so it's repeatedly being reduced to that amount. And so the question is this Dell $100 better than the Acer? I'm not going to say it's not better. It is better hardware. It feels better. It's got a better keyboard, better trackpad. But is it $100 better? Definitely not. And so that's why recently we did a top 5 Chromebooks, and we picked the Acer as our favorite 11-inch in the market. Acer and the HP 11-inch are both our favorites. And so that's why we left the Dell Chromebook off. This has been Kevin Purcell for Notebooks.com and GottaBeMobile.com with the Dell Chromebook. And if we're rating this as a buy it or leave it, we would have to say leave it and get the Acer, unless you don't mind spending $100 more to get slightly better hardware. And then in that case, it's a definite buy. It's an excellent Chromebook. Thanks for watching.